Today, I want to talk to you about something that happens when we have the bad habit of the moment we have feelings for someone, placing that person above ourselves. And this is a pattern that has nothing to do with, nor depends on the degree of feeling we have for that person. It is a habit that we have acquired, and it is that the moment I have feelings for that person, I change my order of priorities and place them above myself. And what happens is that the moment I position them above myself, is my attachment to the outcome so great? Are my expectations so strong because they are so relevant to me? If I feel that I want or that this person is more important than myself, just think about the importance I will give them. And then something happens that precisely sabotages our relationships when we are the type of person who tends to idealize the other and put them on a pedestal. And it's that relationships get ruined by fear. Truly, it's fear. Fear will make you inclined to chase the other when you feel they are not as committed as you would like. It will lead you to pursue them at times when it is really not convenient for you. Fear will make you feel incapable of setting boundaries that are necessary for the other to respect you. Sometimes boundaries. Something as basic as telling this person, hey, look, I don't like this that much, or I'm not comfortable with this, or this upset me. You won't dare to say it because you're afraid that by communicating this, it might upset the person and they might distance themselves. And of course, since they are more important than you can't. But let's go. Fear is going to influence so many things. Fear won't allow you to be yourself because you won't feel good enough, all because of the mental positioning you've done. So since you're not good enough, you lose that spontaneity, that naturalness, which being authentic is practically one of the most charismatic things we have when trying to win someone over, especially when it comes to winning over the right person, because the right person will like you as you are. Because pleasing someone else is not complicated. Really, it's not. In the end, the matter of being liked. When someone likes you, they just like you. And it doesn't really matter what you do, unless you obviously stop being yourself. And when you're constantly afraid of not being good enough, you stop being yourself. Then you lose all naturalness. And before replying to this person's message, you spend countless hours overthinking it, as if giving the wrong answer would change anything. When you're with the person, you don't allow yourself. To say the first thing that comes to mind, you're very worried about trying to impress this person, about hiding from them that you're not good enough. You start acting strangely. You're not like you are with everyone else. You realize that with everyone else, you're one way except with that person. And interestingly, deep down, you're aware that with that person, you come across as less charismatic. Okay, well, all these problems that I just listed for you and many more problems have a common denominator, which is none other than, indeed, very soon, you start experiencing the situation with fear. And fear is the opposite of love. So fear prevents love, things are not going to flow. And believe me, the relationship will definitely go wrong. And the worst part is that you will be left with the wrong lesson, because somehow you will feel that this happens because indeed this person was better than you, because maybe you are not lovable, because while others find someone to be happy with, you do not. And you reinforce that fear within yourself. It keeps getting bigger. That is to say, the next time you dare to meet someone, if you already had this fear before, you are absolutely terrified. That is why what I would like to work on with you today is that fear, so that it truly stops being the problem when you meet someone and allows things to flow. But not flow like when someone only wants you for intimacy and tells you a story about wanting to go with the flow. No, truly flow. That is to say, it shouldn't be stressful, because meeting someone doesn't have to be stressful. You are interacting with someone, you don't have to experience it with anxiety. It's not a goal you need to achieve. In fact, you need to stop seeing it as a goal. It's no longer about meeting someone and thinking it's up to me, and I have to make sure this works out, because if it does, it's going to be wonderful. Finally, I'll have... You're not going out hunting or trying to deceive anyone, okay? So, one of the first things I'd like you to be very clear about and not lose sight of is that with the right person, it will work out well. And you won't have to force it. And you won't have to overthink it. I actually ask you to stop overthinking it. You need to learn to take things in a relaxed manner, But for that, and here you have to help me, because I can't do that part for you. You need to understand that it's essential not to put the other person above yourself. You can't, when you meet someone, let your mind immediately go north. And the best way to control this is with your hand. Is that you need to start controlling what you tell yourself, what your internal dialogue is when you meet someone. Because usually, being a person who places the other above, who idealizes them, who puts the other on a pedestal, goes hand in hand with fantasizing. A lot. I fantasize a lot. I fantasize very quickly. And it's not that I dwell on what this person and I are experiencing. No, no, no. I dwell on everything I want to experience. In other words, I fall in love with myself. I usually fall in love with myself so quickly that I fall in love before the other person has time to fall in love. And then being so out of sync, it's very difficult for the other thing to happen. Because as I said, I'm already risking too much and then I lose my naturalness. If you are this type of person, your clear and basic goal when meeting someone should be to realize that in the end, others will only give you what you are willing to give yourself. They will see in you what you see in yourself first. And that's why it's very important that you always stay centered. Stay in the mindset that no matter what happens, you love yourself more than this person. It is very essential. And when I meet someone, I don't fall into habits like chasing after them, trying to convince, putting my life on hold. All of that might sound familiar because it's very common. Honestly, I know people who jump from one romantic situation to give it a name to the next, but the pattern is the same. They meet someone and in 2 days they say it jokingly. Amanda, I was going to marry him. Take away the giggles. The problem is that you're not joking. You're not joking. And immediately they put their life on hold. That is to say, this person was a total and complete stranger 2 weeks ago, but now it turns out, hey, that they occupy all your mental space, that you don't make plans for the weekend with your friends, because you're considering the possibility that this person might suggest something. You're constantly overthinking, I got a message, what do I reply? How do I reply? In other words, you turn that person into the epicenter of your life. You completely forget about yourself, you put yourself on hold, without realizing that when you do this, on one hand, you have the essential problem of fear. And on the other hand, you have very little to offer the other person. Because you start living around them, right? It's as if you nourish yourself a bit from their existence, and on top of that, we want to see it in a romantic way. Oh my goodness, it's just that And it's that when I meet someone, I'm like this, I'm super devoted, I give it my all. No, sorry. There's an important difference between loving well and loving in a healthy way and loving beautifully and meeting someone and behaving like an obsessed character from an American movie. It's different. And it's not right. I'm going to tell you something. People who love themselves, there's a lot of talk about self-love when it comes to helping let go. Here, we're not being loved, but self-love also helps to love well. Truly, when you love yourself, you love beautifully. You love beautifully precisely because you love in a very conscious way. You love in a committed way, meaning you can respect the other as they are, see them as they are, and communicate assertively. What are the things you need from a relationship? Or when you see something doesn't add up, you have the courage to explain to the other, hey, what's going on, right? You allow it, little box, but you also love beautifully, you love well, precisely because by loving yourself well, you can also love the other very well, truly. But when you don't love yourself well, you might think you love the other person a lot. But if you analyze the way you love, it's often not that beautiful. Many times, very soon, you fill yourself with feelings that aren't so positive. You fill yourself with resentment towards the other because very soon you feel neglected. You might compete with the other, feel jealous, be watchful, and become obsessive over the person. If you were given a choice, what would you love for the person to set aside for you? That is to say, you don't stop to think about what makes the other person happy. What I want is for you to make me happy. I want you to take responsibility for my happiness. And when you don't take responsibility for my happiness, to the extent that, or When you don't meet my expectations, deep down I feel frustrated and bad with myself, with you, with everything. That is to say, I can quickly accuse you of playing games. I don't have such positive feelings. It's like me, it's that I give you everything. Well, don't give me so much and love me more beautifully. Love me more healthily, love me well. But for that, you can't lose sight of what the correct order of factors is. And above all in your life, there is you. You are the protagonist of your life. You are the one who has to take charge and be responsible for your happiness. And when getting to know someone, you can't allow yourself to lose your way. It doesn't matter how much you want to find a partner, because if that desire leads you to put the other person above yourself, to start neglecting yourself, you become a boring person to the other, someone who has little to offer, who behaves strangely, and to top it off, stops being the person they were, due to all the fears and expectations. I repeat, making someone like you is not about performing feats. That is to say, you don't have to rack your brain watching videos on how to make this person like you. You don't even have to learn strategies. You don't even have to be thinking, well, if I do this thing, if they like me more, if I do that physically. When we like someone, we like them. I mean, someone really has to mess up for us to like them. Hence the illogical feeling of, I don't know what I see in them, I don't know what I find in this person, but I love them, because that's how we are. But the only important thing is that you don't stop being the person I noticed. And for that, I need you to love yourself more than you love me when we are interacting. That's how it is. There are so many people I advise, and when I'm having debates, conversations, making them see why they need to act differently, I truly think to myself, how well you would do if you just loved yourself a little more. If you viewed yourself in the right way, just a little differently. If you didn't mistakenly believe and need the other so much, if instead of seeing so much positivity in the other in a somewhat illusory, unrealistic way, you saw a little more positivity in yourself and put this into practice, how well you would do truly. Sometimes it's just that small nuance that makes a huge difference. And our romantic relationships are no longer cool. I mean, how pleasant and wonderful it is when we invest in the relationship with ourselves. But as I say, why doesn't it work out for me many times? Why don't things turn out the way I want? Because honestly, you keep sabotaging them. You keep sabotaging them. And your eagerness for this to work is what sabotages it. Because it has those adverse effects. So please, focus more on yourself, take things more calmly, and allow yourself to be you. If they are not rejecting you, they are rejecting that strange version of you that comes from fear and that it is not. It's not your most attractive version. It's not even close to being your best version, not even near. It's not about working on myself to achieve my best version. It's enough to at least keep being yourself when you realize someone likes you because there's a reason they noticed you. I mean, many times it's like, wow, they noticed me. From now on, I have to do it right. No, you were already doing it right. I repeat, that person noticed you for a reason. Don't change what they noticed. It's like if I start a business, it's going incredibly well because everyone comes to my restaurant because they love my food. And I say, wow, how great, it's being a success. Well, from now on, let's work on the menu. And you start to bring out some strange dishes. Very exotic, now I'm really going to amaze you. And people say, but what I wanted was the dish you served me the first day, which was a simple, normal dish that was good. Why are you serving me this strange new cuisine now? Well, that's what you do when you meet someone. That is to say, that person notices you, they like you just as you are, but not you. It's not enough for you. Oh, I love it. Okay, well, now that I love it, I'm going to start working. Now I'm going to show you the best of me. And the best of you is that anxious version, with the fear that it better turn out well. Because if not, nothing. And it won't turn out well until you change that dynamic and realize that you are enough. That you don't have to impress anyone. That you don't have to convince anyone. That you don't have to spend the day fantasizing or earning merits. Please. Well, I hope this video helps you. That it opens your eyes, that you liked it. If so, and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, of course, I invite you to do so, to hit the bell, because I would love for us to see each other again very soon. And until then, as always, I send you a big kiss.